Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back to talk about Dondi, Season 2, Episode 9. As can't believe it, we lost a good one here today as Dixon eliminated Dondi Babe XOXO. And here with us to talk about it, Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
Rob, I'm a little sad because I was literally in the midst of like designing my own Dondi Babe XOXO necklace, and I thought it was original concept, and that was my biggest blindside of tonight was finding that someone else got there first, and it was Dixon. So I'll let it slide.
Yes, and I'm sure somebody else who's bummed out to see Dixon go out. It's Chappell. Chappell, your guy Dixon.
I had no clue he was a Gossip Girl fan. Like XOXO took me down, you know. Yeah, my guy. I liked this episode for Dixon, except for the ultimate outcome. I think that he came to play, and it was very apparent. You know, like a lot of people in this archetype is like, oh, is he going to get played by the hot woman? Blah blah blah. Dixon was playing the game. Okay, he playing both sides. Yeah. He's sacrificing the showman. He's saving his dad. You go, Dixon. Dondi.
But I don't get it. Like, I feel like that we have really established for 2 seasons that you would rather be the person playing the banker rather than the person who just sits there and could be eliminated. Dixon is saying, like, I don't mind. I'll play the banker. David's like, no, son. You put $5 million in the pot. That's enough. You don't need to do it again. He's like, no, seriously, I would. No. Instead, I'm going to put Lety in and then Lety her evict you in front of everybody.
To be fair, I think David has proven that he is afraid of the banker. Not like afraid of the banker, like because he went up against the banker. I think what he said, like I think that the idea of playing the banker makes them nervous. And we saw them jumping and doing all the mental gymnastics last episode, the last 2 episodes, to be like, I don't know if I want to play the banker, but I should play the banker because if I don't play the banker, you're gonna target me. But I really don't want to play the banker. That said, you know, unless Dixon planned on taking, David to the final 2 and vice versa, somebody was going to have to take out Dixon eventually. And I don't know if David had it in him
to do the final 2. Why wouldn't they want to go to the plan
on that time?
Because of influences, Rob. Influences. We got to take the wife to the final 2.
You think that Parvati wanted Dixon out because she was afraid that David would get too tempted to take Dixon to the final 2?
No, I think that I don't think David has it in him to cut Dixon. I don't think so. I think in this episode, like it felt like a father being chased away. I mean, like stripped away from his son. Like, you know, like this was heart-wrenching. It was almost Shakespearean. You know, it's like he refused to even put him in front of, like, no, I can't allow you to go up against the banker. It's too dangerous. You've already beat him once. Let dear old dad take care of this. Lety, you go out there and take yourself out of the game. It would have been such a heroic moment from father to son, and it just didn't work out. I don't think the plan was to let Dixon get eliminated, but I do think that it would have been really hard for David to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, we have to remember last week, which in the game I think was maybe the day before.
Yesterday, yeah.
Dixon is fighting for his goddamn life to not face the banker like a mere 24 hours earlier, and I feel like there's like this weird like superstition that's kind of taken over because last week or 40 or 24 hours ago in game time they're all like, a lot of people have been making good deals. Like what goes up must come down. And they just had this feeling that it wasn't going to be whoever was going to face the banker next was not going to make a good deal. And that seemed to be part of the rationale of keeping Dixon, you know, not facing the banker last week. And then we see Lachelle make a bad deal. Now, we might say some decisions were maybe, you know, misguided or whatever. But now it's like, now that someone has made a bad deal, it's almost as if like, okay, the karma has reset, and that now the chances of somebody be like, it's better to be in the banker position. And it's like, it's confusing. It's confusing to watch because I think David and his protective nature of his relationship with Dixon may be part of the reason that Dixon stayed out of the temple last week, and Parvati, because it seemed like Parvati was like more interested in putting Dixon in than Lachelle. Ultimately chooses Lachelle after, you know, the conversation between David and Dixon where he's like, you're the father I never had. And so now, like, I'm sure David's still holding on to that, like, no, we gotta protect Dixon. But now he's changed his mind.
No,
because
I believe that I think David got played. I think that he's like, Lety is bluffing. She's going to eliminate CK. Right. Lety and CK, she's just saying this to me. She's trying to keep me from putting her up against the banker. She doesn't want to play the banker, and I'm going to call her bluff and put her in. She's like, well, you should have listened to me because I was serious. And so I think that David gets burned here.
She's a woman of her word.
Well, that, and it was kind of cool how David even outlined exactly what you're saying, Rob. He was like, you know, Lety's going to announce to me that she's going to play, like, put Dixon up. Just, you know, and her plan to come at me was to threaten my son. I said, yes, threaten my son. I said, yes, Dana.
Yes.
Man,
but he even said to her, he's like, look, I understand you need to say that to me, so I don't put you up against the banker.
I get David. He doesn't the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be strong-armed. He said it verbatim. You're not going to come in here and, like, hold me hostage. It was like a game of Russian roulette. CK's like, it's either, Lety's like, okay, it's either me or Dixon, go. And they're like, it's like, okay, well, if I go, it's either I'm going or Dixon's going. But tonight, it's on you. She almost took it down to the 50-50. I honestly thought that would have been, like, even better if she could have got it down to the 1v1. And, like, Dixon, you open the case, I'll open the case. You know, like something like that. It was kind of baller what she did. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Well, tomorrow we will have exit interview with Dixon. Very much looking forward to hearing what he has to say. Of course, you could hear that in our Dondi podcast feed, weknowdondi.com. And we'll also, of course, post it here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's get into this day of Dondi. And so we see Lety and Phillip saying that the biggest person that they need to get out is David.
He's a bigger physical threat.
Okay.
Physically bigger than everyone else.
Meanwhile, David is talking with Dixon. He asked him the question, okay, if this was a chess game, what chess piece would you be? Now, Dixon almost is a pawn, but no, he's a knight.
Hey, real, you know.
What is the objective, like, right answer? Like, do you think that is that, like, I feel like I can't attribute chess pieces enough to people. So I'm trying to figure out, like, does that make sense? Is he the knight?
Is he the knight? Well, there's not really enough pieces at this point in the game.
Right.
I mean king and a
just
queen.
Like objectively in the way that he moves. Like,
I don't know. I mean,
an L shape.
The king and queen are pretty obvious here. You know, they're Parvati or David in whatever order you want them to be. And then I think
the knight the son.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you go bishop for
I thought it was a horse
for Dixon, or do you go to the sun? Do you go for the horse at that point? So I don't really know.
The horse son.
I've always kind of, I like the rook. It's kind of cool.
Okay. What do you make of this plan? And this is a little bit going back to, like, Parvati's DNA is on this. This is a little bit giving, like, Eric Reichenbach. Okay, we're going to try to woo Lety with this friendship bracelet as mom and dad look on. Dixon is going to give Lety this bracelet and ask her to be his girlfriend in the game, only so that she can lower her defenses and Dixon can infiltrate Lety's good graces.
I don't think this was giving, like, Eric Reichenbach, but this was definitely, like, the Parvati playbook, right? Like, she has made, like, a name for herself as being so cutthroat, but also charming people in order to do it. And, you know, just being like, hey, maybe go start a fake showmance, to go lean into that a little bit. And then we'll look on like we really support it, but deep down, we're planning against her, like, you know, and Dixon was down. He was down for the games. I said, see, that's what I'm talking about. Boy's a gamer. He went over there with his bracelet. Cause I think if you're not paying attention, like, if let's say you went to the restroom and you came back, you're like, oh my God, he's giving her a bracelet. Oh my God, he's whipped. It's over. It's over, man. He's done.
Yeah.
But no, this was all part of the plan.
But this is a bad plan. Because in these reality TV games, we see this all the time. You go over there, you go be the spy. You tell me what they're saying. But meanwhile, they're like, hey, okay, they sent me over here to be the spy. And I have to like act like I'm pretending to get close to you, but we're really going to screw them over. And we don't know what Dixon ultimately would have done. I think that Dixon is an opportunist, probably more than anything. But Boston Rob would have never let this happen. When Aaron was talking with Alyssa, Rob is like, hey, shut it down. Remember what we're doing here.
No new
crazy?
friends.
We're not doing this. No new friends. I'm your only friend. You know. So I think that this was not well conceived from David and Parvati.
They're also watching. Like they're like arm in arm on the beach while they're like on the pier or whatever. Like very visible. Like it seems so orchestrated because like Lety's like, what's going on over here? So it's like hard to imagine that there's not any alarm bells going off being like, why are they? It's like, how did they show up at exactly the right time? It's like they sent him over.
Yeah, they had to go give their seal of approval. It's like he came to pick her for like, he's like, oh, my son's going to prom, you know, make sure you take your corsage, go be a gentleman. They're watching it from the porch like, oh my God, there he is. Look at him in his little tux. Yeah.
His first island girlfriend.
First island girlfriend.
Kiss me.
Yeah.
Dondi.
In the quicksand, darling.
That was Dixon.
Okay.
On the Richer.
I'm dead.
Dondi.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Dondi.
Be none the richer if you make a bad deal at the temple.
That's right. That's right. You don't want to be Dixon none the richer.
Dixon none the richer.
Now, Lety, I thought, bad job here by Lety. Her response to Dixon after she gets the friendship bracelet is like, oh, well, maybe let's wait until after the show. Come on, Lety.
Ooh, Lety, play the game. Play the game.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll see.
I mean,
that's like the kind of stuff that Parvati and that Heidi and Jenna used to say to me.
Were you feeling a little? Were you feeling a little triggered by this, Rob?
No, but I was like, come on. Because even I on Survivor of the Amazon, like they used to say things to me like, "Hey, Rob, after the show, blah 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 blah." Like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah. Right.
Yeah, we have to wait. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if you're Lety, you're looking at what's around you and you're thinking, I gotta take, not, that sounds so bad, but I gotta take what I can get here in terms of allies. Like her allies have been dropping like flies. So I think you gotta give a little back. She doesn't have to necessarily make him a friendship bracelet. I don't know where the supplies came from, but it's like,
does production just have like friendship bracelet making kits?
They have
available?
everything there, Rob. Like they're living like kings.
Hey Joe, could you run to Hobbs Lobs? Could you go to Hobby Lobby and get me a little like a case of beads and some?
We need more pink beads, Joe.
I'm gonna make a fake idol while I'm here. Yeah. Okay. So Dixon tells Lety he didn't like it that Parvati was hesitating when he said he didn't want to play the banker last week. She really still needs to think about it. So he's out on the fam.
Or at least he's willing to flip if necessary, right? Like he's out unless it benefits him. Like if Lety's in control and Lety's in power, yep, fam, I don't know what to tell you. It's Lety. What am I gonna do? I can't stop her.
Yeah, he's playing both sides.
Oh yeah, and he's telling us that. But you know, like what he's saying to Lety is kind of it's a great pitch for him because it's based in truth. Like we saw Dixon at the end of the last episode when Lachelle goes out. Like it's not enough that he didn't end up getting put in and like he's still safe. Lachelle doesn't make a good deal. He's still annoyed that there was like even a second of, so this is like he's actually annoyed about this, so it's easy for him to use that as like his, proof that he's not really in on the family, because there is an element of truth to it. Like, he is annoyed and he is willing to do whatever is like the most directly beneficial to him. So it's not like he's lying directly to Lety here. There is truth in this.
Okay. Let's talk about our excursion for the week. And we've got our balance beam, and this, I'll say, Dondi, Joe, everybody, you all were wrong for this.
What?
This was human being could get, like, maybe somebody from like Cirque du Soleil. Nobody got more than a foot across this thing. This was not meant for any human being to cross.
Yeah, where's the dream team? I don't think anybody. I would have seen somebody actually get across it. And
we're like the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey.
Well, look, I think we're burying the lead here. And when I say burying, I'm talking about the damn quicksand. How do they uncanceled quicksand?
Quicksand is back.
Quicksand since like 92. Like, when, and then David's like, I've had experience. Quicksand. What?
I have questions. I can't wait till we talk to David. I hope it's not too soon, but I have questions about his experience with quicksand.
Who are you, Bugs Bunny? What do you mean you have experience?
Parvati's response to the quicksand is so funny. Like, her face when Joe says, "Oh, over quicksand," she's like, "Pardon me?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean quicksand? What is going on here?"
Yeah. All right. So pick your case, pick out the heavier case is worth the more money. Then walk across the balance beam. And if you fall down, you're in the quicksand. And, I think not until Dixon falls in did we really like have an appreciation for what was going on.
I will say I didn't really fully classic Jenny, first of all. I didn't really fully understand the challenge until Dixon until after Dixon fell in, because when he's struggling in the quicksand, the entire time I'm like, does he need to get himself and the case out of the quicksand and then get back onto the beam,
right, and try it again?
Exactly, because in a lot of challenges where there's like a balance beam element, you have to, if you fall, you got to go back to the start.
Go back, Dixon. You need to start again.
Exactly. How many times have we seen balance beams in Survivor and Big Brother? You know what I mean? Like, we have, right? So when he falls into the quicksand with his case, and like I'm watching the time countdown, I'm like, what are we doing? Because I didn't realize that it counts.
How'd they get him out?
We don't know.
I was waiting for someone to throw a vine out there. In my experience in quicksand, which is watching watching like Yogi Bear and shit.
Play dead, Dixon.
Fall,
that's the only way to do it. Don't resist.
Somebody throw a rope out there and drag him out. And then Phillip highlights, he looks like one of those wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men. Like,
honestly, if we didn't see Dixon after the fact and watch him, I would have thought Legend says he's still in the quicksand.
Still in the quicksand. Yeah. Like Kim Martina in the mud.
Yes. No, Dondi should make this a thing. I think Dondi should adopt quicksand. Yeah, do more quicksand than Dondi. No other show has it. Make it a calling card.
Make it a thing. Iced tea, quicksand.
Hey, can we make quicksand? Like, I feel like the ingredients aren't that hard to find.
Is it like slime?
I feel like slime you can get out of, but like, how do you get out of quicksand? How do you produce quicksand? Joe Manganiello, did you just be having quicksand at your house? He got quicksand in his backyard. I can tell.
Can you just imagine like the production meeting, like to come up with the quicksand? Be like, no, bro.
Yeah.
Quicksand.
I will say, I missed Dr. Will on these, but seeing Dr. Will in the quicksand, I think also would have been iconic.
Oh my God, that porcelain skin would have just
let us know about the like benefits to the skin. Probably, like I'm sure there.
I think he would have been excited to be in quicksand.
You're only in quicksand once.
Yeah,
unless you're David and you have experience in quicksand.
That's a regular day.
Yeah, you grow up watching enough TV. I think you're excited to be in quicksand.
I got hype. I said, we brought quicksand back, baby. And then I thought, well, he's going to die. He fell in the quicksand. Somebody get him.
Honestly, quicksand was one of those things where I'm like, this is just a fake term for really deep mud, right? And I didn't think that quicksand was a real concept. And so when we're watching this, I'm like, they're just.
I don't think I've ever seen
quicksand a
real
thing?
people in quicksand. I think I've only seen it like in cartoons and
Yeah,
like
that's what
Gilligan's
I'm
Island.
saying.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a thing, like the Acme bolt or like thing that falls
Anvil,
down.
Like a fall down.
The anvil, yeah. I was like, they don't like that's not a thing that happens in real life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Dixon, the
What do I
first person
know?
I ever saw in real quicksand.
Yeah.
And
You'll
he's
always
just
remember
stuck.
your first.
And ultimately, he picks David to go next.
Ooh,
And Lety wanted to go next. And then she flashes the heartbreak sign. Is this where he lost Lety?
No, I don't think he lost Lety here.
No.
I think Lety.
It was the
Lety
starting.
outlines- yeah, Lety
Yeah.
outlines where he's about to lose her. But this is this is counterintuitive to everything he's telling. He's like, I want to play both sides. I want to play both sides. I want to play both sides. Here's your chance to shear up that other side, and you don't take it. Because had he picked Lety second, nothing would have happened. She would still have fell in that quicksand. And on top of that, she probably wouldn't have got the quicksand technique from David. Because, once David goes and just shows like, you can swim on top of the quicksand and everybody else gets across. I'm telling you, this was a mistake for Dixon.
Yeah. And so David goes and he falls in the quicksand and then shows everybody look, you question David has quicksand experience. Apparently he does. He knows exactly what to do.
What the hell is happening in Australia?
Shannon Gus, if you're listening, can you please
very
let us
busy.
know? I know, but in case she's still keeping up, is quicksand a thing in Australia?
Normalized quicksand.
Yeah.
I just want to
If
know.
Shannon listens, it will be some months in the future when she is binging all of Dondi to prepare
That's okay.
for Australian Survivor versus the World. Hello to Shannon
Yeah.
Gus in the future. That is when we will hear from her on this.
And I'm still ready and willing to hear. However, if any of our wonderful Australian Dawn Divas and Dawn Deviants want to weigh in on this.
No, Dondi
Any-
babes. Dondi
Yeah.
babes
Dawn
now.
Listen, I don't know if that's trademarked. I don't know what's
XOXO.
happening with
Everybody
friendship
get the
bracelet.
friendship bracelet.
They better not
Dondi
trademark
babe.
Dondi babes because we have
Dondi
to
babe
trademark Dondi.
RHAP.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Derek,
People
can we
out in
get the merch
Boston.
going?
Yes. I honestly, I'm not joking. I want that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So David gets across. Here's my question now. So now I'm seeing what David is doing. We've got the strategy. Okay. Now I'm thinking outside the box here. I get it on the balance beam. Can I take my case and throw it like
sure you
40 feet?
Probably not once you're
Chappell,
in
what's the difference? If I fall off the thing and then my case, the case didn't have to stay in my hand in the quicksand.
Well, that's the difference. you fell off the. I think you have to try to attempt to go across the balance beam.
All right,
because
so,
that was
okay.
the same thing. Why don't you just take 2 steps and just leap like at
Right.
full strength? Just
No, I think
dive
that's a-
for it. Yeah.
Like, yeah, go across, like boogie board on this case across the quicksand. Like once I'm in the quicksand, can I take the case and just like throw
Yeah.
it?
I think it was kind of heavy.
Possibly. That's kind of
Yeah.
what David
how
was
heavy was it?
doing.
I
Yeah.
think they were kind of heavy because I think that was
Yeah.
the thing that's one of the reasons why no one can get across that beam is that their balance is so effed. The moment they pick up that case, it's like, woo. So
And
you don't
that's
really
why
think-
the biggest amounts are the heaviest. It's like, okay, you want to go for it? Good luck.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't know that this was part of the challenge until we saw David do it. Like
Mhm.
we saw Dixon struggle. He doesn't make it across, and we're like, okay, he's a small guy. This is quicksand. We've never seen it. This is to be expected. Then within a couple steps, David is also in the quicksand. I'm like, oh my God, what is this challenge? And then he's just tossing it. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing. But I do think that they probably would. I thought they were like, just letting it happen, being like, we didn't foresee this. So I guess we'll just let people do this if they want to try to shove it forward. I have no idea if they expected literally everyone to have to do that, or if they thought that there was an actual possibility for someone to make it across the beam without falling into the quicksand. We'll never know because no one is able to do this.
Okay. So Parvati goes next. She goes 2 steps her balance. She's got balance for days, and she is able to get through. Buzzer beater, she gets across, and she is safe for the 9th time in a row.
Joe loves mentioning this.
Because it's
Joe's blown up her
absurd.
spot.
Because it's absurd. Parvati is
It
going to
is.
leave Dondi, potentially the winner, and be like, this is the easiest show I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, what has she actually had to do that wasn't just like in Parvati's wheelhouse? Like, she likes these challenges. We've seen her do so many Survivor challenges. We've seen her hang from poles. We've seen her, she does it all. She hold her hand up in the air for a billion years. Like, this is Parvati stuff. She does this. She hasn't had to do anything. She's just chilling. Bro, I know Busta Rhymes was like, hey, be immune. And she's like, cool. Like, that was it. That was their conversation, and she did it.
Here's the
This iconic
strategy.
gameplay.
Just be immune.
I think
Okay.
I think Dondi does a lot for Boston Rob's. Like, if you watch Boston Rob closely on Dondi, it does a lot for his reputation. I think it's really one of Boston Rob's better showings on reality TV. He has a few good ones, but it's like top tier. I've seen Rob's rankings, but Parvati, this is the smoothest sailing she's ever had. She is chilling.
Returning to the chess conversation, does this mean that Parvati is the king?
Why?
Because
she's the
doesn't
one to beat.
well, and also like you're protecting. Okay, am I not knowing chess?
You're
well?
correct. The queen is the most powerful thing on the board, but
The queen is moving.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but if you
Queen
get
is
to
moving.
the game is over. So yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
see what
why
you're
I
saying.
said
Like,
it
if you want to say
the
that
king is
Parvati is
protected,
actually
right?
the
Like-
king is being protected at all costs, and
Right.
David, in this case,
the
the most
queen.
powerful
The
piece
queen.
on the board is the queen that the king is wielding.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
I just wanted
said-
to raise it as an idea. Here.
No, that's what I was saying. I was saying in whatever order you want to put them, king and queen,
Yeah.
Parvati, David. It probably changes from day to day, honestly, because this was the first episode we saw people really being like, David's the biggest threat. It's like, yeah, he's been the biggest threat, but like they were actually vocalizing like, no, we need to get David today. Sadly, for most of them, David too will end up safe again. You know, like Parvati's been safe for 9 weeks straight, but it's not like David's always at risk either. You know, like
Mhm.
But
you've only had
David
a few
will put
opportunities to shoot.
himself at
Mhm.
risk. Like he chose to face the banker when he eliminated Will. Still recovering from that. So I just thought it was interesting. Like Parvati has been safe, and David is often making moves to protect Parvati. So just you might think, it's David's the king and Parvati's the queen. I just wanted to raise the opposite. We're talking chess here.
Okay. Well, CK, Lety, Phillip, they all get their case. They all take one step. They fall in the quicksand. CK had a
CK's
pretty
fall.
bad fall. Yeah.
Like it was really hard to watch because everyone else like fell just kind of like into the quicksand. She fell in a way where her body hit the balance beam before she fell in. Like I was genuinely concerned. Like they cut to the commercial at the right time. Well, but in a way that gave me anxiety because I was like, I mean, I've talked to CK since, so I know she's alive. I know she's okay. But I was genuinely concerned in this moment because it did look like a very hard fall. I have to feel like that, like thin wood beam, like if you get it in like the rib or something when you fall, that's gotta hurt.
She took that Peter Griffin-esque fall and just, and landed right like it was flat. But it was the most badass thing seeing CK with the quicksand covering her. And she's like, claw, like after falling like that, like even Dixon says, like, she wiped out and she still got over before me. This was CK, look, she should have been gone. CK been a target since like week 1, episode 1, minute 1. And she is still here just like grasping and clawing her way to the end. Much respect for this one.
You can't spell cockroach without CK.
Oh my God.
You can't get rid of her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean that in a bad sense. She would probably agree with me. They feel this way. It's like, weren't we trying to get rid of you a while ago? And she's like, bitch, I'm still here. I'm getting through the quicksand. I fell. It doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
Okay.
Nah, resilient.
All right, we open up the cases, and Lety and Phillip, they have the lowest cases. David has the highest cases. Did they not open the red cases? Were the red cases just for show?
didn't have anything. They were
they were just safety.
Yeah,
they were just safety. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
we kind of yada yada Phillip too. Phillip was last picked. He didn't like that. He was just like, I've been last pick before. Y'all kind of leaving me hanging here again. But he even like everybody made it. They made it except for Dixon. And so, the king and the queen are safe again. And now we have to decide which of the knight or the pawns, I guess, two are left.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I feel for Phillip because I feel like you can tell that this is like a rough part of the game for him where,
it's been rough for Phillip.
Rough.
Phillip has been set off for like 5 episodes in a row.
And I think things started off a lot better for him. And like, he's basically watched a lot of his friends be taken, and his relationship with Parvati, which was like a strength in the beginning of the game, kind of, has deteriorated, and he's decided that he doesn't really want anything to do with her. And like, I think that there are a lot of emotional things like going on. And then in a game like this where you're picked last to go, if anything, it's kind of a compliment. It's like, you're a threat. I'm scared of you. I don't want to give you too much of an advantage of having your choice here. But when you're already like beaten down and like feeling like the cards are stacked against you, to be like picked last is probably going to like trigger some sort of like, being like, oh, I'm the last choice. But it's like not the same as like picking like your dodgeball team in gym class. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it's like it feels like it, but you could like step back and be like, this isn't the same thing, but you don't always have the ability to like have that foresight. So I feel for Phillip.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to, in Big Brother, where you're the target because you're a threat, you're going to win the game. But also now you're sitting on the block and nobody wants to talk to you because they know you're going home.
Yeah.
And for Phillip, he's like you said, he lost all his allies. We lost Lachelle. Like I too would be like, damn, I'm stuck here with CK. If I was him, from his position, I'm stuck here with CK. Lety is kind of like I guess we're loosely aligned. Me and Parvati were cool, but we not no more. The family's obviously going to be picking themselves over me. It kind of feels like an insurmountable thing to go up against if you're looking at it that way. And then to be dead last, you're like, damn, I don't really have no allies who would have picked me next. So yeah, if I'm Phillip, I'm probably feeling about the same way. Like this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And Dixon didn't make
him crunch time, Phillip. Come on.
You gotta win.
True.
You gotta.
I mean, in fairness to CK, that she's in a worse spot than Phillip is in, and you don't see her just like complaining about her position.
No, Parvati and David will prioritize CK over Phillip. And to their defense, CK is still openly willing to work with them, whereas Phillip kind of let Parvati know like what's up.
I mean, David was trying to get CK out. He wanted Lety to take her out, not Phillip.
Well, I think that's CK the shield. I think they bring in CK. So if you want to come after the family, maybe you'll take her, and me and Dixon and Parvati can hide behind her as this threat because we know her and Lety don't get along. Same thing with Phillip. Phillip has, Phillip, if Parvati's safe, I would assume Phillip was probably going to go after CK too. So they're willing to sacrifice her to keep Dixon safe. But when it comes down to who are we going to play the game with, CK or Phillip, it feels like they're going to lean towards CK at the end of the day.
Yeah.
CK has become the ultimate smokescreen here after that big blow up in the temple where she made the good deal and eliminated Seychelles, because like since then everyone is just banking on that beef being a thing, and we're ultimately going to see in this episode that like that might be a thing, but sometimes people have bigger fish to fry, and they say like, I know she's the bottom of your pecking order. You are protecting Dixon at all costs. Like, I'm not too worried about that right now. Somebody's got to do something about this power structure.
Okay. So back at the camp, Lety starts calling out Dixon. Dixon, she says, I didn't like what you were doing. And he says, no, I was trying to get Parvati to be vulnerable. She says, no, that was, you blew it.
You actually made that up. Like she saw through this. He's like, I made a strategic error. It was about. She's like, nah. No.
Yeah. This was wild too, because like when it was happening, prior to this in the episode, we're still getting Dixon giving us like confessionals being like, I'm here for me, baby. Like whatever Dixon wants is what I'm gonna do. And he's kind of still like leading us on a little bit to be like, oh, like what's his true allegiance here? But when he chooses David versus Lety to go next, he literally in a confessional says, obviously I'm choosing the family. So it's like he immediately tells us like, okay, no, actually I'm still rocking with the family. So he's trying to come up with some sort of explanation to Lety, and there isn't one, because it was just about the fact that he was going to always choose David over Lety here, and he didn't have a logical explanation for this. So it's hard to make up a logical explanation when there was one. Like there wasn't one.
Okay, well, they called David over. David, nobody wants to play the banker.
Yeah, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. And David's like, oh dang, well, that's crazy, because Lety, I was gonna give you the opportunity that you gave me, the chance to go to this banker. It's such an honor. Like, aren't you happy that I'm gonna bestow that back upon you? And Lety like, did you just tell me you about the baby? Like, he just told me. He did. He told you to your face, like, you put me up, so I'm about to put you up. Good luck.
Remember when you let me play the banker and I definitely took out the person I said I was going to? Let's run it back. Now it's your turn. It's like at that point, David should maybe be thinking like, okay, if we're doing like a retribution type thing here, let's truly think about what that means, because Lety made you play the banker and you told her you were going to take out Dixon. You took out Will. Yeah,
but Jenny, CK pissed off Lety so much that Lety stopped everybody and said, CK, you're dead to me. I'm coming for you. Like, so it's like she has announced that she has a target. So if I'm David, like, maybe that's still her target. We might get lucky. We might slide past this one. And then again, he didn't want to be strong-armed.
And I feel like they're forgetting the words of Queen Seychelle on her way out when she says to Lety, eat her up. And it's like, everyone is thinking like, okay, yeah, the beef between Lety and CK, like that's her revenge mission here. She needs to get out CK for taking out her girl Seychelle. And no, apparently we have forgotten the mission that Seychelle bestowed onto Lety here.
All right. Well, Parvati, David, and Dixon talk, and they talk about like, hey, we need Lety to play the banker and take out CK. That's the plan.
Dixon
and then
the
best
banker.
Case scenario, she loses.
Best case scenario, she loses. But
Dixon already played the banker, and David's like, I don't want to make him do that again. That's, it's not fun.
Also, he didn't want to yesterday, so
right.
Why would he want to today?
All right, so then we see David talk to Lety, and they say, like, look, we both have the same end goal, take out CK. And Letty's like, no, I'm going to take out Dixon.
And poor David, he goes, yeah, you're just saying that. She's like, no. He's like, yeah, but you got to say that, because, like, because if you say that, I won't put you up. But she's like, no, I'm going to.
I'm going to do it.
Like, no, you're not. No, you're still going to go after CK. No. I'm coming after you. No, by you coming after me, you mean after you take out CK. Then he's like, no, absolutely not. I'm coming after you. So yeah, I think he called her bluff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is wild for him to just like completely call her and be like, yes, I see why you would just say that, so that I will not
I
put
get
you
it. The whole song and dance.
Coming after Dixon.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But we really
you're definitely going to take out Dixon, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what letters are in the middle of Dixon?
You and these letters today.
CK. I get
you
it.
Can't spell Dixon without CK. You just can't.
Exactly.
Let's go to the Banker's Temple, okay? And at the Banker's Temple, get really I would say, is this the first like public real mention calling attention to, boy, did David and Parvati have a connection?
She hit the baby Andy hair twirl too. Influence? Who has influence? What do you mean?
Me-
I'm like, Parvati back,
Never.
baby. She's back out here.
I'm telling you, she needed to be.
She put that
on
bikini on.
beach.
She in the sun,
Exactly.
soaking it up. She's back. She's
Parvati,
at her
never
full strength.
go to Scotland ever again.
Ever.
Okay,
Mhm.
you were made for the heat.
Right. The fire.
It unleashes this beast. I don't know.
But also,
Yeah, this
Joe,
was
stop being
wild.
messy. Yeah, Joe messy as hell. You're like,
I
so
love
I'm the
it.
only one. I'm the only one who knows this. CK like, I know this. You know?
Who's rizzing who?
Yeah.
Also, yeah, CK calling out herself for being the third wheel. I'm like, what is now? I need the family tree really explained here, because I thought like maybe CK was like a cool aunt or something. I feel like she was like, or like a neighbor that it's
You like the next door neighbor. Yeah.
you know
She's
what I
next door
mean?
neighbor, yeah.
Yeah. Dixon's the son, obviously.
Dixon, go ask Miss CK if she has any sugar that we could borrow.
Sugar, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now I'm more confused about what the relationship dynamic is in this family, because it's like some sort of like loveless throuple or something. Like, I don't know. Or I don't fully understand it, but CK apparently feels like the third wheel on this relationship between mom and dad. So
Okay. All right. Dixon says Lety will be his island girlfriend,
He lied.
pulling out all the stops.
He lied. He lied. This man lied. Because Lety is like, if you make
Okay.
me play, I'm going to take you out. Right. And here we are.
Mm-hmm. All right. So he has to pick a person, David, and he picks Lety to do it. And CK's like, what? Parvati, what is he doing?
And Dixon's like, yeah, what are you doing? Stop it. Like, no, seriously, I would love to play. No. Like, Dad, please.
No.
No, just like, son, please.
Lety's
Stop.
already
Grown folks are
standing.
talking. Yeah.
Lety's
She
already
doesn't
standing.
care.
Dixon's
Yeah.
like, also, if you want to change your mind,
If you want to make her sit back down right now.
But-
it's fine with me.
Lety then says, by the way, if I win, Dixon is going home.
Her plan?
Which we
was to
almost
come
never see on Dondi, that the person like calls their shot. I'm playing
Ahead of
tonight
time.
to send you home.
Kind of a baller move, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
And her plan to come at me was to threaten my son.
You
I
do a
love
good
how
job
he
with
said
that. Yeah.
I love it.
He was like, I was like,
Yeah.
Mufasa. You know, like he's back,
Yeah.
baby.
Mm-hmm.
no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I'm surprised they give that to us, because I feel like in some ways it kind of takes the suspense out of like, okay, well, all right, now Lety won and we know what she's going to do, right? Or you think that maybe it was like, was she going to maybe change her mind?
Yeah, the question is she bluffing? Is she
Mhm.
serious? Because we know she hates CK. She said, CK, if you do this, I'm taking you out. So it's like now, like, she's like, I'm a woman of our word. But which word? Because you did tell us, you gave us your word, you would take out CK. Now you're giving us your word, you would take out Dixon. I just feel like you got too many words, Lety.
Well,
Honestly.
it's like whatever the latest word is
most
the
recent word.
word that matters. So like you can update your word at any given point. For me, there was no question. As soon as she says that and you know, we see this, I'm like, okay, yeah, she's for real. You know, and also I think if your ultimate goal here is to disrupt the power structure of the family, and again, David and Parvati are always safe. You know, you do that, and Lety's not dumb. Despite the fact that Dixon's showing up with friendship bracelets, asking her to be his island girlfriend, and all of this, she knows he's not stupid, and she sees how he operates in this challenge, and she's like, this is like, he's just trying to make sure that if I'm in a situation where I have to eliminate someone, that he's not on my list, you know, that he's not first to go. He's still going to prioritize these people. Like, so she's not dumb. We know she knows what she's doing. For me, it was just, is Lety going to make a good deal or a bad deal? Who's going home? Is it going to be Lety or Dixon? At that point, I was not worried for CK at all.
Lety is going to pick case number 2. It says it smells like coconut. Jenny, is that good?
Okay, well, they said so I think Ben said it smells expensive, and then Lety gives it a smell and she goes, yeah. I thought it was Parvati that says smells like coconut. But it might have been Lety that said it smelled like coconut. I mean, coconut can smell expensive.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of like expensive
To be
scents that
fair,
are coconut-based.
$250 is expensive, but in the game of Deal or No Deal, not that expensive.
very.
Yeah.
No, it's like Bath and Body Works coconut scent, you know?
Okay. All right. So Lety gets off to, a decent start in terms of how the odds are going. She has 3 low cases, then opens up 2 million. Her first offer is 273,000. There are 3 cases that are on the low side and 5 cases that are lower. So she has like a 5 out of 8 chance to stay here. If she takes the deal, she keeps going. Okay.
Yeah. Yada yada.
No reason.
Yada yada. Okay. She opens up a few more cases, 3 big cases, 1 small case. The offer goes up to $599,000, and she's at 50% odds when she turns down that deal. Okay. Yeah. Then she says, okay, whatever you do not, Joe tells her, do not open 2.25 million. But that is what she opens. That's like when you're skiing, they tell you can't be like, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree, because you're gonna hit the tree.
Yeah, you hit about it.
It's like when it's like someone asks you if you're okay and you start crying. It's like once you acknowledge that, you unlock it.
The universe doesn't understand. Don't. You can't say don't open 2.25 million.
Yeah.
Your brain
said the other words.
2.25 million. Go right for it. Yeah.
If I'm like, Jenny, don't move. There's a roach behind you. Jenny's gonna take off running. Like she's not gonna freeze. Like it's not gonna happen. Like Jenny, don't move. And I told you not to move. And now the roach is like freaking out.
Sorry, I heard roach, and that's all I heard. That's all that it is.
All right. So she gets the third offer, $550,000. She has a 66% chance to stay. Even Dixon is like, look, I gotta keep it real. She should take the deal.
Yeah. Don't insult her intelligence. I think this is the right answer. It's like you say, like, hey, even though you're telling me that you want to be out, I support you in making a good deal because hopefully there's a really tiny part inside of you that isn't going to take you out. So
that's the thing. You got to hedge your bets at that point, no matter what.
All in on the friendship basis. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, give her a little moment of being like, hey, you know what? Even though I'm a little worried for myself because you literally called me out, I still care about like you making the best decision for yourself. Which I don't hate that for Dixon. And also he's just like, take it from the man who has banked the most money here.
Hello. Yes.
Let me give you a little tip, girl.
Whoa.
Okay. So she's going to take the deal. She opens the case and she made a good deal, $250. And now she has to eliminate either CK, Phillip, or Dixon.
And if
she's a woman of her word.
She's a woman of her word, not the CK word, but the Dixon word specifically.
That was more recent. More recent word.
More recent word.
Yep. Yeah. And so Dixon, he has to go. It takes it very classy.
Yeah. Like it. That's the thing is,
anybody has a flat ass.
No flat asses were mentioned. No update on anyone's ass here, but I thought the little like relationship between Dixon and Lety was really fun because it's like they both kind of knew they were bullshitting each other to a certain degree. It like I never fully believed that they were prioritizing each other on either side, and it was really fun to like have Lety call him out. And be like, okay, well, if I make a bad deal, you're going home. And it just, even though it was like a very big deal, very serious, it still felt very lighthearted. And when she ultimately makes the decision, it didn't feel like it was out of malice. Here's the thing. I love drama. I love animosity. I want a little bit of this, but I also want the odd round where there's still a little bit of back and forth, but it doesn't feel so personal, and it's like game recognized game. Like, hey, I'm not your Dondi babe XOXO anymore. Get to step in. I thought it was a fun little exchange.
And a great experience for Dixon. You know, he played with Parvati, one of the greatest Survivor players. He played with Dixon, a random person who has never played Survivor, obviously.
David's never. Yeah, he doesn't even know what Survivor is. He doesn't know if
even
there
know what
is an
that
Australian
is.
Survivor.
Yeah, and I think he whispers to David too, like, "You're like the dad I wish I had, and you got a flat ass." You know, like, it sounds like, "Oh,
Dad, your ass
Oh,
is so
your
flat.
ass is
That was
so
very
flat."
nice.
You messed
all
up.
of I was really worried all season long that there was going to be some sort of like betrayal of David to Dixon, where, you know, we heard his backstory about how his biological parents, that they had sort of like had another couple raise him that was older, and he never really had a dad that he could really bond with, and David was kind of that. And I was so worried for Dixon that David was going to betray him at some point. And so I really did love the David and Dixon relationship over the course of the show. And it seemed genuine.
Yeah.
On both
Listen,
sides.
If you have any sort of daddy issues, like this storyline has been grabbing at you in some way. And you know, it was super, super wholesome. I am also very relieved that, like, obviously David is a gamer. He's the golden god. He's still ultimately like grappling with like doing what's best for him. You can tell this is a man that is a caring, sensitive person. And he really, you know, he has 4 kids of his own, and he really has taken, you know, he's really taken a liking to Dixon, and feels this responsibility to him. And to hear from Dixon, like, you know, you seem like such an incredible dad. You're like a father figure that I never had, or that I wished I had. Like, oh my God, that is like some heavy stuff to hear. So I am also relieved that David didn't have to be directly responsible for Dixon's demise here. Now, I feel like David definitely feels guilty, like in the, you know, when he hugs him and says, "I'm so sorry, I thought I was doing the right thing." And you might argue, like, did does Dixon's elimination have a little bit of David's unintentional fingerprints on it? Because Dixon straight up was saying to his face,
Yes.
"Let
I don't
me
think
play."
It's a debate. I think we're
I know we established this already tonight.
David's
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
David
But
did a
I'm
bad
saying,
job.
like,
David,
not
bad thing,
not
bad thing,
intentionally,
David.
not intentionally,
Not intentionally,
also, like,
but you know.
If you
But
make
it's
a
like
bad,
Dixon
I mean, Luke
shaking
didn't
his
go home
fist,
intentionally
so-
either, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's
His heart may have been in the right place, but he definitely played this wrong.
Yeah.
This was bad. This
But-
was bad.
It's yeah.
That's it.
This is the thing,
It was
is
bad.
like the deal or no deal part of it is such a freaking crapshoot that, like, we can say, like, oh, this is objectively the bad move, and David is like weighing numbers of being like, the chances of Dixon getting eliminated if he's playing the banker are higher, because I don't fully believe that Lety is actually going to get rid of Dixon. And you're doing the math and you're thinking, like, okay, there's been this many good deals versus this many bad deals. Like, I really feel like there's like a level of, you know, superstition and odds that's like playing into things.
Yeah,
here.
I think that when you play it out that way, where it's like, okay, so let's say it's 50-50, Lety is going to be, even though it ends up often being higher than 50-50 that the person is going to stay. But let's just say, okay, it's 50-50 that Lety is going to lose. And then if she stays, it's 50-50. Is she going to eliminate Dixon or CK? So it's basically like a 1 in 4 shot that Dixon goes home here, as opposed to if I put him in against the banker, I guess it's like a 50-50. So maybe he felt like, okay, well, there 2 things have to go wrong for Dixon to go home.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think I would have believed Lety here.
But you have the defense of, if, you know, you let Dixon play, he makes a bad deal.
Couldn't live
you
with
did
himself.
what he said.
Yes, he said
He
yes.
asked to play. So I feel like anytime somebody asks to play, and like there's a little part of you that wants to protect them, if they're asking to play, baby, just let them play, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know, it almost seems like he was really banking on there being like another bad deal being made, and was just hoping that it was just going to be the end of Lety, and that this is the best shot to get rid of Lety, was just her making a bad deal.
Okay. The banker calls back and says, hey, big news. tomorrow's excursion will be double elimination.
And
First?
I said, how many more episodes are in this show?
Right?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know.
So I think that according to the intrepid Sam Moore, that he says the Dondi finale is 3 weeks from tonight, which I think gives us 3 more nights of Dondi. Now, to me, though, to do a double elimination, I do wonder if that maybe it's a double elimination, but maybe we don't see either person go home in the next episode.
Another cliffhanger.
What do you think of that?
I mean, it can happen. We've seen
either that
happen.
or we get it down to the final 3, and then in the final 3, nobody goes home the week after, and then we have like sort of like a 2-part finale.
Yeah, maybe I think the final 3 is more likely to end on a cliffhanger. Like because we don't know. I kind of like where it was like Boston Rob versus what's her
Amy.
face, and it was like really close, and it was like where he cheated. I
Yeah.
think, or
So
something.
yeah,
It was
probably
like
we do
voting.
get 2 people out next week, and then we have like a 2-part finale where I guess
one
like
episode
Survivor
getting
started
from 3
it.
to 2,
Yeah.
and then I mean, apparently someone is gonna win some big money, so they probably need to like give some proper time to the true like deal or no deal
We gotta
game
meet the
for the final
banker.
person.
Yep.
You gotta meet the banker, whoever that is.
Mhm.
And also I feel like a lot of the things I've been seeing online, like I think like the Wikipedia page has 12 episodes that would line up with 3 weeks from now. So this
12
was episode
cases
9.
usually. Yeah.
I got a question.
It's true.
Who
Yeah.
is the final 3? 2 people are getting eliminated on the next episode. Who are they?
Okay, I don't know.
That's not
and
a
then that's maybe not a
Jenny,
funny answer.
boo,
Okay,
boo,
okay,
no.
okay. But this is maybe my way of like answering that question. I feel like we need to see some sort of resolution of the Parvati and Phillip storyline.
Yeah.
I know that we kind of talked about it earlier in the season, being like, is Phillip Parvati's blind spot? Is he ultimately going to be responsible for
I don't think he's her
Parvati's
blind spot.
demise? Well, not anymore.
Yeah, not
But-
anymore.
For a
Yeah.
who's getting the last laugh
Okay.
in this feud, right?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I think, is it Phillip?
that
that
wins
doesn't-
or that goes,
Yeah, I think that maybe
or that gets that last laugh.
I
here.
think he ends up being a part of Parvati going home, but I don't think Phillip wins.
Or
Oh.
what if
Mhm.
their stories are so tied to each other and they go out in
They're
the
the
same
final 2?
episode?
In the same
Oh,
episode, they sort of take each
They're
other
the
out.
2 that get eliminated.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How are
I'm
we
just
doing
like
that
scenario.
with the banker? Is it like a drag
don't
round of
know.
like the
They've
person who
never
gets
done
eliminated, they take somebody with them?
Not the
Yeah, and
drag round.
Mhm.
And is somebody can somebody be immune? Like if Parvati is immune for the 10th week straight, it's like
Mhm.
okay, like it's between CK, David, and Phillip, and then I think at that point you take out maybe CK and David and be like, all right, it's Phillip and Parvati.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Will they play the banker together? I do think either David or Parvati, I think, goes out next week. I'll be surprised if they
Yeah.
both get through the double elimination.
But what if they both go out? That would be crazy.
I don't.
That would be insane.
Well,
I
if
mean,
one
it
person has all the
could.
power, yeah, I think that
Yeah.
that's conceivable.
if
like
if
Phillip
yeah, that's the
Phillip will
thing.
be the
If
one to
it's-
do it.
or Letty, like, and even
Oh, yeah, Lety
CK.
too.
CK. I mean,
CK
I don't
wouldn't
think
do it.
CK should be eliminating both of them. Again,
Mhm.
not knowing how it shakes out from here, it might just be who you think you can beat. But
CK should just eliminate David.
Honestly, physically speaking, I think CK is like she's like the easiest one that probably like if this is like a pure like test of athleticism, I'm probably looking at CK. I mean, like Letty's a professional athlete. Parvati, like I said, she does these challenges like in her sleep all the time. David's huge. Phillip is
it's
like
a
huge
physical
guy.
final 5.
Yeah, if it's a physical group, I think at that point CK is probably the most prone to probably losing the challenge, but also probably the most attractive person to go against in the final 2. You know, if you're in the
Yeah.
final 2. I'm thinking if I'm one of them, I think I'd have to want to go against her instead of going.
I think
against, and it's no
CK is a-
disrespect to CK because I think
No.
she's physical as well. I just think they're like if you have to rank them, she's probably the lowest hanging fruit right there.
Which is
She's probably
wild
got a
because
spot in the final 2. Yeah,
like that really is a testament to like how strong of a final 5 this is in terms of
Mhm.
just like acumen and like physicality. Like
Mhm.
this is a really good final 5. But yeah, I kind of do feel like CK again is kind of a lock for the final 3 here, and that I think that it's going to turn into like two pairs with their guns aimed at each other, and it's just going to be a matter of how this like double elimination works logistically, and if it's going to be one person responsible for two people going home, or if there's some sort of like other game mechanism and it's possible that like one from each of the pairs could be going home. Because yeah, I think that if it's like one person is in power, then if it's like David or Parvati, then Lety and Phillip are going home. Maybe a CK, but I don't know. And then if it's Lety or Phillip, then Parvati and David are in trouble. But maybe there is a game mechanism and it could be one of each. Maybe we see Parvati and Phillip go out together, and that's like the end of their story when they look at each other being like, hey, maybe we should have found a way to get it back together, get the band back together.
I think Parvati would have if there was a way.
I think so. Yeah, I think she would have been okay with that, but I think the door was closed.
I think the door got closed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll find out what happens next week when there's a double elimination on Dondi. In the meantime, we'll hear from Dixon on Wednesday. Chappell, anything else on your mind in regards to Dondi?
Yeah. My last question: who did it better, Boston Rob and Aaron, or Dixon and David? Who's the better father-son duo?
With all due respect to David and Dixon, I think it's Rob and Aaron. I think it's not close.
I feel like the David and Dixon thing is more pure. Like I feel like that they like bonded. Yeah, father-son.
I don't think that was
like
the same dynamic with Rob and Aaron. It was almost like a big brother, little brother.
I don't think that Rob ever like took Aaron under his wing. It's like, hey, I'm your father. You listen to me.
Rob's a girl dad, okay?
Yeah,
he doesn't know what it's like to have a son.
He doesn't know. You know,
she's your grandma.
His relationship with a little bit was like daughter's boyfriend. He's like, hey, come on, Aaron, if you're gonna be under my roof, you're gonna follow my rules. I'm gonna teach you.
You gotta learn how.
I'm gonna make a man out of you. Come on.
Yeah, he's the father-in-law.
Yeah.
That's what's like. I'm like, because like, don't get me wrong. First of all, this is an incredible Dondi trope to have. Next season, we're gonna be like, so who do you think is going to be the father-son pair? Like we're trying to put them together. Like that's the pair to watch. The father and sons typically go far. I'm gonna do like
Rob, who's going to be your son?
Yeah,
on season 3.
How do you know I'm not going to be the son, Jenny?
I don't know. Anything can happen. Maybe there's a whole tree. You're someone's son and someone's father. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of Dondi family trees going on.
I don't know who could be there.
That's true. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You can be somebody's son. I love that for you.
Yeah.
But I feel like this mirror end game is
there.
Oh my God. That. The way you would be it would be like Aaron and Rob all over again.
Oh my goodness. I legally require this.
Yeah.
My dreams are coming true.
Okay. Look. You were a little out of pocket, okay? Let's get in line. We're gonna play the banker in a temple.
I need this like air.
You don't know.
Oh my God.
You don't know.
This is like, forget Survivor 50, okay? Let's get the two of you.
Yeah.
On Dondi season 3. You and Penner, secret pairs. I don't know. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So Dixon exit interview coming up tomorrow. Yes. Jenny, what else is on your podcast card?
Not a lot besides Dondi, but I did get together with Taryn Armstrong and Mike Bloom late last week to talk about Big Brother 9, the winter season in the Big Brother retrospective over here on RHAP. And yeah, can you believe I found a way to talk for over 2 hours about Big Brother 9 till death do us part, a very wild and controversial season. Maybe you didn't catch it. You can learn a little bit about it if you listen to me, Mike, and Taryn talk about it. That was a really good time. And anything else I'm up to on social media at Jenny Autumn. And let's see what happens with the rest of this Dondi season. I don't know how many episodes. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? 4? I don't know. We could do this forever. We might just get a bunch of episodes of watching people drink iced tea, and I would watch that as well. So,
okay.
But this is fun.
All right. Great job tonight, Jenny. Chappell,
you.
what else is coming up exciting for you?
I'm on Recap Kickback. Mari and I are we're recapping Clean Slate, the Laverne Cox show on Hulu. I mean, on Amazon Prime. So Laverne Cox and George Wallace. It's hilarious. And so go check that out when that drops this week. G and I are still talking about Abbott Elementary, but you can keep up with all of that by subscribing. YouTube.com/@recapkickback.
Okay. And Chappell and I are talking Survivor as well on Club Condo. Check that out before the new Survivor episode drops on Wednesday night. We'll also have Traitors finale coverage coming up on Thursday. That's all right here. RHAP, make sure you're subscribed to everything we're doing here by hitting the subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. We love to read your comments and hear what you're thinking about everything that's going on. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.